Hi, Colin with Diode Dynamics. Today in the garage, we're going to be showing you how to install our SS5 CrossLink grill and bumper kits on this 2018 Jeep JL Wrangler. Let's get started. Whether you're installing our bumper or our grill kit, the installation will start off the same way. As you can see, we have our hood propped because we'll be removing 6 plastic push clips using a plastic trim removal tool. Now we can get a firm grip on the grill and pull it directly towards the front of the vehicle. Don't be afraid to give it a little bit of force. Next, we'll be taking off this bumper trim piece by removing 8 push clips. Now we can remove 2 screws, one on either side of the radiator, using a 7mm socket. With our clips and screws removed, we can take our plastic trim removal tool and wedge it between the trim piece and the bumper and separate the two. Next, we're going to grab a drill with a 10mm or 25/64 drill bit because we're going to be enlarging the holes on the frame that used to hold our plastic push clips. For an added layer of protection, we're going to go ahead and put a piece of tape on the corner of the bumper here, just in case we wobble with the drill a little bit. Now we can remove our factory 5/8 bolt on the outside of the frame rail and drop our Rivnut into the hole we just enlarged. Then we'll place our base bracket on top of the frame rail with the flat face towards the front of the vehicle and loosely reinstall our factory 5/8 bolt. Next, we can thread our provided 10mm screw over our M6 nut about 3/4 of the way and drop on our washer. Then we could put our M6 screw through the top of the bracket and thread it into the Rivnut hand tight. To expand our Rivnut, we're going to be tightening the 10mm nut. So we'll drop our wrench over the top of our nut and then our 10mm socket over our M6 screw and then tighten the nut. With that secure, we can remove our M6 screw. And our 5/8 bolt on the side of the frame rail to remove our bracket. After our first Rivnut is secured, we can repeat the same steps on the other side of the vehicle. Then we can reinstall our grill by reversing the same steps we used to take it off. With our grill put back on, we can reinstall our brackets by threading the factory 5/8 bolt through the side of the frame rail and then instead using our smaller M6 screw with an oversized washer to hold the top of the bracket. You'll notice the factory fog light harness is connected to the side of the passenger frame rail. We've actually included a hole on the passenger side bracket to reconnect it. At this portion of the video, we're going to be installing our universal brackets onto our SS5s for our bumper kit. If you're installing our grill kit, you can go ahead and use the timestamp in the description box below to skip ahead. First, we're going to be threading in our set screws on the holes closest to the bottom of the SS5 using a 2.5mm Allen wrench. We'll do this on either side of the pod. And then loosely thread our 5/32 bolts with washers through our bracket and into the side of the SS5 on either side of the pod. We can then drop our provided carriage bolt through the slotted hole on our universal bracket and line those threads up with the innermost hole on our base bracket. While keeping a thumb on the top of the carriage bolt, on the bottom side we can put on our washer, our lock washer, and our nut, and tighten it hand tight so we have adjustment later. Once both pods are loosely installed, we can move on to our wiring. If your Jeep came with a factory switch bank, you can use our OEM switch harness. And if you'd like to see a full detailed video on how to install that, you can check out the link in the description box below. If your Jeep did not come with a factory switch bank, you're going to need to use our dual output harness. There's plenty of different ways you can route this. For our application, we routed it behind the headlight and up from underneath the grille. With our wiring plugged in, we can go ahead and make our final aiming adjustments. Once you're happy with where everything is aimed, you can use a 13mm wrench and a 5/32 Allen to tighten everything down all the way. When installing our Grille Kit, our first step is going to be assembling our SS5s into a Lightbar using our CrossLinks. These can be assembled in both straight and curved configurations, and if you'd like to see a full detailed how-to on how to assemble our CrossLink systems, you can check out the video link in the description below. Once that's assembled, we can go ahead and grab our CrossLink universal brackets and our provided hardware and head to the front of the vehicle. Starting off on the driver's side of the vehicle, we're going to align the slots on the bottom of our CrossLink universal bracket with the two outermost holes on the base bracket. With those holes aligned, we can drop our provided Allen bolt and washer to the top of both brackets. Then from the bottom, we'll thread on our provided flange nuts, tighten everything down using a 10mm wrench and a 5mm Allen, and then repeat those steps on the other side of the vehicle. Before moving to the grille, we want to make sure our CrossLink splitter harnesses are already plugged into the pods. Now we can mount up our CrossLink Lightbar. At this point, it's a good idea to grab a friend to help you hold the bar in place while you thread in the 6 provided 10mm screws through the sides of the bracket and into the end mounts. Again, leave them hand tight so that we can adjust them later. With our Lightbar loosely mounted up, we can now route all of our wiring. If your Jeep came with a factory switch bank, you can use our OEM switch harness, just making sure to route it to the highest rated auxiliary switch. If you'd like a detailed how-to on how to install our OEM switch harness, you can find the link in the description box below. If your Jeep did not come with a factory switch bank, you're going to need to use our provided single output harness. There's plenty of different ways you can route this. For our application, we routed it behind the headlight and up from underneath the grille. Now we can make our final aiming adjustments. Once you're happy with where your lights are aimed, we can tighten down all 6 of our 10mm screws that go through our CrossLink universal bracket and our 5mm Allen screws that are on either end mount. Not only are our SS5s the highest intensity 5-inch LED pod on the market, but whether you go with our Grille Kit or our bumper kit, you'll get an absolutely insane increase in light output while off-roading. Along with that output, you'll also get a backlight feature with 8 selectable color options. These were designed, tested, and assembled right here in St. Louis, Missouri with durability in mind, including our single-piece CNC aluminum CrossLink brackets. If you're looking to pick up an SS5 kit for your vehicle or any of our other products, visit our website at diodedynamics.com or use our dealer locator tool to find a dealer near you. If you're looking to stay up to date on any of our new products, make sure you subscribe and click that notifications bell below. Thanks for watching.